First, we gave you sleepers. We said, these aren't sleepers. So we gave you deep sleepers.
Right. Okay.
And now we're thinking, let's give them deep sleepers.
There we go.
Okay. Deep sleepers, 2X for the 2022 Dynasty Football rookie drafts. These are all players that are likely available in the 4th, maybe 5th rounds, depending on each player. Prospects that we believe in, that we think could bring value. And just to preface this, if you're drafting someone in the 4th round of a rookie draft, they might not even ever be a starter in the NFL, okay? But these are talents that we really like, that we think could be upside players. My first deep sleeper is a tight end that I have loved throughout the pre-draft process. We all know Carson Strong out of Nevada.
Right.
But arguably, some of us don't know, in my opinion, his best weapon in his time in Nevada, and that's not Romeo Doubs, okay? It is Cole Turner.
Yeah.
Okay. Cole Turner, 6'6", massive body. In 2021, he had almost 50 receptions, 600 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Or in 2020, excuse me. And then in 2021, he comes back, has an even better year, 62 receptions, 670 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He was a 3-star recruit. As a tight end, he
got more stars than me, tell you that much.
Yeah. As a tight end, he contributed over 20% of his team's total receiving yards and touchdowns. He's coming out as a 21-year-old. In the real NFL draft, I don't think he's going to be a highly drafted prospect, unfortunately. Okay. I think he's likely a 5th, 6th, maybe even 7th round prospect in the real NFL draft.
Yeah.
If people see what I see in him and they see the big body, the athleticism, maybe he could slip into the 4th round, but I just don't think that's going to happen this year with this tight end class. When I was trying to find a good comp for you guys and say, who could he be in the NFL? So I'm about to bring you a name, and I don't want overreactions because he will probably never be this player.
Right.
However, his skill sets suit this player the best that I could find. Okay. And that is Jimmy Graham, a young Jimmy Graham. Think about when Jimmy Graham first came into the league. Both of these guys, Cole Turner and Jimmy, both played basketball, have very good leaping abilities, fantastic leaping abilities. I think that's attributed to their basketball careers. He's 6'6", Cole is, great athlete, good hands, good deep speed. You know, for a tight end, I think he has very, very good speed. Again, I'm not saying he will be Jimmy Graham, but we're probably showing you some film right now, and you can see the similarities in their game. Now, Jimmy was a much higher scouted prospect, higher recruit, but you can see the similarities between them. Now, in your rookie mocks, you probably haven't seen Cole Turner go off the board unless you are in our community.
Yeah.
If you're outside of our community and you haven't heard me talk about Cole Turner, he's likely going to be undrafted every 4-round rookie draft this year. So he is the true definition of a deep sleeper. I haven't seen anyone mock him in the 4th round this year. It's going to take him a while to produce, okay? So the reality is with Cole Turner, you might not ever have a starting tight end in the NFL, but I see the potential there. What does he need to improve on? He massively needs to improve as a blocker, okay? He's not a very good blocker, and he's not a very good route runner, okay? He's not really able to create separation. He really wins in the air through his contested catch ability, his leaping ability, his one-on-ones. So he does need to improve as a route runner and a pass blocker. Again, he might not ever be a starting tight end, but maybe he develops under a tight end and he finds that role in a couple years. My favorite team fit for him, and I thought about this long and hard, why not the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh, Cincinnati.
Okay.
Oh, what about CJ Who's Your Mama?
You learn for a couple years under CJ Who's Your Mama. Okay.
Right.
Eventually, he will move on because he's not a young tight end. And then you have a chance to be a massive red zone threat for Joe Burrow in this offense. It's going to create problems, man. I mean, you already have to try and figure out how to defend T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. Now you add the big 6'6" guy, leaping ability in the red zone and Cole Turner. I like this fit. Again, might not ever be a starter, but I'm willing to spend a 4th round pick on this guy, a late 4th round pick. Who is your favorite deep sleeper or your first?
My first deep sleeper is Velus Jones Jr. out of Tennessee. He's a small, shifty guy, 6 foot, The only problem is that he's currently 24 years old. He's going to be 25 in May. He probably is the oldest person in this draft, and that's why he might be going in these fourth rounds or undrafted. In 2021, 62 receptions, over 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. When you watch his film, he jumps off. Like, he jumps out of the screen. He is so fast, electric. He is a slot receiver, a punt returner. He is a do-it-all, shifty guy, okay?
Yep.
So, in the NFL draft, kind of like Cole Turner, you'll see him going in the 5th, 6th round. He might not even be undrafted. He'd be one of these undrafted guys that gets an opportunity later on down the road. You just never know, okay? And for me, the thought process, when we were both watching this guy, he was like, man, like, this guy looks good. He was like, actually, he looks like a Ray McLeod. And this is exactly what he looks like. He looks like a better, faster, older, technically the same age, Ray McLeod that's in the NFL now. A guy that, once again, that can do everything, can contribute in the slot receiver, kick returner, punt returner, a do-it-all
I almost
guy.
feel like that might be a reason why he gets a roster spot in the NFL is because of his returning abilities.
And some of these guys, when you get in that spot, I feel like they get stuck in there. Devin Hester, he was always a great receiver, but he was just better as a punt returner.
The greatest ever.
Yeah, he was just, I don't know. It was just good to have him there. Anyways, in rookie mock drafts, like we said, he goes in the 4th round. When can he produce? Can he get a starting role right away? And I like Zach. I think if he gets the opportunity, he can produce right here, right now, in the first year potentially. It's not going to be amazing numbers jumping off the board, but if he goes to the right team, he can sit back maybe for a year and then develop. Or maybe somebody gets hurt. He's one of these players where somebody gets hurt. He's like, you know what? Let's bring in Jones Jr. Just put him in the slot, see what happens. And then he has one of those games where he pops off. It's like, I was not expecting that. For me, we said we compared him to Ray McLeod, and I think that's the best fit team for him is the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Deontay Johnson. You have Chase Claypool on the other side with Valise in the slot as well with Najee Harris in the back end. Whoever it's going to be is Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Malik Willis. It doesn't matter. All these quarterbacks are decent and they can contribute, and they're going to give the ball to Valise Jones. So I love this fit. I love this guy. Just watch his tape. You're going to be surprised. Yeah. Elite speed,
interesting
just
prospects.
Under elite speed.
Like we said, all these guys, none of them could be starters. That's the reality. None of them could actually be starters or ever be relevant. But we like the talent that we see in them. The thing I always was held up on, again, is the age. He's going to be 25 by the draft comes around. Think about a second contract for him. How old will he be when he gets that second contract?
Yeah, and that's the thing in Dynasty and these deep sleepers. You take a chance as a 4th round guy. Totally. Let's see what happens.
All right, my second and last deep sleeper is Tyler Badake, someone that when you watch his film, it is hard not to fall in love with Tyler Badake. Okay, out of Missouri, he is 5'8". He's 5'8", 194, coming out as a senior. Another issue, he's 23 years old. Okay, so not an ideal age for a rookie running back. In 2021, he rushed for over 1,600 yards on 6 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns, and through the air, caught 54 balls for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was a 3-star recruit. Okay. His dominator rating, which is the total percentage that he contributed to his team's offense, through the air, on the ground, 41%.
Sheesh.
He contributed 41% of his team's offense. In 2021, he rushed for over 200 yards 5 times in 5 different games. The last player to do that was Jonathan Taylor. Now, they're very different players. I'm not saying he's Jonathan Taylor, but that is a very, very impressive stat.
Right.
And by the way, he did that versus the best defenses in college football in the SEC. Okay? Unfortunately, we have to talk about his draft capital because I'm not sure that he even gets drafted. I just said all these amazing things about him, but I'm not even sure that he gets drafted. 5'8" running backs that are that short, they don't have a very good run in the NFL draft. I mean, think about Jarrett Patterson last year. He didn't get drafted. He was an unrestricted free agent, but he still found a home. So for me, I think he's probably a 7th rounder. Maybe someone falls in love with him, right? But more than likely, he's undrafted. I still think he's going to be in the NFL as an unrestricted free agent, undrafted free agent. But I don't think he's going to get drafted, unfortunately. So when I looked at a player comp, who could he be in the NFL? Now, I'm going to give you an upside and a floor. So don't be upset at the upside. Okay, the upside, think about Maurice Jones-Drew.
I like MJD.
Very similar skill sets. Now, obviously, Maurice Jones-Drew was a generational talent, okay? The draft capital was better. Did a lot. Like he is the upside, okay? Right. Not going to happen. He's not going to be there. The floor, think about like a Jacquizz Rodgers or even like a Jarrett Patterson, right? Okay. Like think about that type of player, someone who could be a good backup running back or a 3-down back. Look, if the Washington football team, Commanders, if they move on from J.D. McKissic, then we have Jarrett Patterson as a 3-down running back, right? A spell back. I think that's what we could see from Tyler Badie. He has a skill set to be that really, really good 3rd-down running back who you can still run the ball with. You don't have to just use him as a passing back. However, great speed, really good speed, explosive with every single step. Every step this guy takes, there's explosiveness in it. There's conviction. There is confidence in every step that he takes. He's a fantastic pass catcher. Like I said, caught 54 balls this year. Lined up, check this out, at Mizzou last season, he lined up as a receiver 61 times. Only last season alone, okay? Returned 35 kicks in his career. Very versatile player. You can put him anywhere on the field and he can help your team. And in rookie mocks, I think a lot of people are going to start to fall in love with this guy after the combine. I think he probably ends up being an early 4th-round pick. That's where I expect him to go. However, there are so many running backs that are in this weird range of they're talented, but are they NFL talented? You know, and he kind of falls in that line of running backs. For me, I believe he is my running back 8. So I'm very, very high on Tyler Badie, but I don't think people are going to be drafting him unless they're a part of our community. He might not ever get the chance to produce. I have to be honest with you. He might not ever get the chance to be a starting running back.
And that's the risk with these.
That's not what I'm projecting him to be. I'm drafting him to be a J.D. McKissic, a Jarrett Patterson, someone who can offer me upside if someone goes down due to injury. So I tried to find my favorite team fit for him. How about the Las Vegas Raiders? Okay. He could serve as their change of pace running back. Josh Jacobs is a 1-2. Then they already have people coming on 3rd down for Josh Jacobs. Why not bring in Tyler Badie? Electric player. I think he could serve really, really well as a 3rd-down back. I like him even more in New York.
My Giants.
With the Jets.
Oh, I was like, what?
Okay.
What?
Michael Carter, I know Michael Carter is already undersized, but why not have them as a 1-2 punch? They're both 50-50 sharing the workload. Very, similar skill sets. Okay. They offer different things, but I think that could be really fun. Anyway, love Tyler Badie. Would love to see a team really invest in him in the draft capital, but we'll find out. Who is your last deep sleeper?
Last deep sleeper for me is Damian Pierce, running back out of Florida, 5'10", 215 pounds, 22 years old. Look, he didn't get the crazy workload, only 574 rushes, average 5.7 carries, 13 touchdowns. Damian Pierce is a guy that is always going to have a job in the NFL. You always need the big bowling ball bulldozer type of guy that can just punch it in the end zone for you. And this is the definition of he is the definition of that. Damian Pierce, even though he's small, he's big, he's chunky, bulldozer, bowling ball type guy. For me, I think he'll go in the 5th round, 6th round in NFL drafts, maybe even 7th. It all depends. I won't be surprised if he go undrafted as well, in my personal opinion.
I think because like what you're saying, because of the type of frame he has, I think he'll go in the draft.
And that's the thing, you just always need that guy. So when you think about that, I try to find a pro comp, and this may not sound sexy. Think of Mike Davis in 2020 when CMC got hurt. That's what Damian is. You saw glimpses.
Be that for you.
Yeah, he could be that guy. Oh, CMC got hurt? Cool. Oh, Saquon or Gibson got hurt? All right, Damian's in. Cool. Easy. He's going to punch it in for you. Or he can just be that nobody, that guy that vultures off of these touchdowns on the goal line. Like I said, in other videos, if you probably heard us in the rookie drafts where we did, I see him like going to the Eagles, being that Jordan Howard guy, taking those touchdowns away from Miles Sanders, and that was annoying. You hate it when you saw Jordan Howard go in. In rookie drafts, like we said.
But NFL coaches don't care about your fantasy team.
No, exactly. And that's the only problem. So maybe, hey, he can be the upside of rookie drafts. He's going in the 4th round, obviously. Can he produce? Biggest question. 2-3 years. Once again, he'll be the guy that comes in and steals the opportunity from your player. He can come in and have 1 week where he has 4 carries and 4 touchdowns.
Right.
Damn. And then we're all saying, man, Dameon Pierce, you know that guy? Yeah. I know. But it will always just be like that one hit wonder. It's just a one-off thing. I think this is what Dameon can be. Unless he gets the opportunity, maybe somebody gets hurt, he can have the high upside of a Mike Davis in 2020.
What about like Dearness Johnson with the Browns this year? He was a third running back on the depth chart, but when he got an opportunity, he showed that he can be a good running back.
Exactly,
for a team.
And that's the upside with Dameon. He is a good running back. He is a guy that technically hasn't had the massive workload in college, but once again, there's always a place for him. Team fits for me. There's a couple team fits actually that I really like. Get rid of Jordan Howard. He's older. He can fit with the Eagles with Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. Or get rid of Zach Moss, obviously. Maybe in a year or two, have him sit behind Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Maybe he can punch it in. Another team I can think of is the Seattle Seahawks. You know, Rashad Penny is there. He's always injured. This is a perfect opportunity where Rashad Penny always gets hurt. Let's put in Dameon. We weren't expecting him to be this good. He's going to punch it in for you over there in Seattle. So those are my team fits. I really like Dameon Pierce. Once again, always a place in the NFL for him. So keep him in mind.
Yeah. And I'll say this again, it is totally okay if you don't see what we see in these players. I think something that I love about our channel is that people have disagreements and they state them. And that's okay. If you don't agree with us, that's okay. I'll probably set a little timestamp to anyone who disagrees and just point them to this part of the video and say, it's actually okay that you disagree. Genuinely, it's okay. Comment down below. Is there a deep sleeper that you love? Let us know.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.